I don't think my grandmother has ever shied away from talking about anything, so there was no such restriction. I think that they're a lot similar to each other, and I think that's probably something they discovered about themselves as well through the episodes.
I think there are enough truth bombs.
I was excited about it. It's the first time that I'm doing a podcast and venturing into this medium, but I was excited about it, and so were my mom and my nani. I think three of us were really excited. This is something we literally do at home every single evening, so it was also something that came across very naturally, the concept of it and the idea. So I think excitement was the overall emotion. It's 10 episodes with the three of us, three different generations, and it's called What the Hell Navya for a very specific reason, is that my mom says it to me at least 3 or 4 times a day. And we have talked about everything from financial independence to love, relationships, women's health. We've talked about how important it is to have female friends. So there's a lot that we've packed into these 10 episodes, and I think I'm excited for everyone to hear it and listen to everything we have to say. They were very excited. My mom is actually someone who loves podcasts. She listens to podcasts every day, so she was excited about that. And my nani is a sport. She's always ready to try something new, so it wasn't difficult to convince her at all. Honestly, we often forgot that there was a mic in the studio, because I think podcast is that kind of a medium where we weren't so conscious. We're not on camera. It's very raw. It's very candid. So it didn't really feel like work, because we can sit anywhere and just start talking between the three of us. So it really didn't feel like we were being forced to do anything. It was very natural. So the experience was great though. I think it's the first time that the three of us are coming together to do a project or work on something together. So I think the excitement was more around the fact that we were being able to work together. I think that they're a lot similar to each other, and I think that's probably something they discovered about themselves as well through the episodes. And I think even in the trailer there's a moment where they both said the same thing at the same time. So I think that was a big realization for all three of us. I don't think my grandmother has ever shied away from talking about anything, so there was no such restriction. And I think as you hear the episodes, you'll come to realize that we've spoken about absolutely everything, and very honestly and very candidly.
So I think for us, at IVM, we don't do so much film content. It's not a place of our core competency. And so yes, it was a little bit of an interesting, challenging idea that we thought that we could explore. We wanted to also give it, a certain podcast effect, which is mostly based on raw conversations and authenticity, right? So how do we then blend who we have as a protagonist, and at the same time bring in her family members, and especially and so I guess somewhere this idea also kind of stemmed into existence from a personal experience of me. I've stayed away from home for 20 years, and I miss this camaraderie that she has with her mom and her grandmom, and I think I've always thought what it would be to have three amazing generations of women to sit and chat. And it's almost like telling people, or telling girls especially, urging them to go out and seek their mums and their grandmothers, and bring them all together to have these conversations. I personally feel these are all topics that I think all girls should talk about within the family, and I would urge all the boys too, right? But I'm saying let's start with the girls, if we have an immediate effect. So the idea kind of came from there. I thought she fit that spot perfectly. She comes from the family she comes from, but at the same time, doesn't have the same ambition, to be able to tread a certain, acting line that I think everybody in the family is so well known for. And, she was really very fittingly on brand for that, because she comes from here, she comes from the family she comes from, but at the same time was willing to have these raw conversations. So I think it kind of just came together well.
No, I think he's excited that we're doing this podcast, and everyone in the family has always been extremely supportive of anything new that anyone does. And I think he's the same. He's excited and he's extremely supportive of this decision, and he's enjoyed the trailer in the first episode also. I think in some of the episodes we've talked about a lot of things that I've also been working on for the last 2 years. So, for example, in the financial independence episode, I spoke about Ara, my startup, and how it's been managing money for me as a young entrepreneur. We've also spoken about menstrual hygiene, periods, which is another area that I've been working on. So I think that through this platform, it's just another medium through which we can talk about these things. Put it out there. I think the more we put it out there, the more it becomes normal, the more we kind of are able to have conversations around it. And I think that this was a great way to do that, because it was not just me, but also the other 2 women in my life, sharing their opinions about it. So I think that was the best part of it. What the hell? Obviously, just hear it. Those are the 3 reasons.
I think there are enough truth bombs.